Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Wagner and I'm going to be your teacher for this online drawing class. And basically what I want to do in this video is I just want to give you an introduction as to how to use D2L, how to navigate the website, and then I might actually go over the course syllabus and just talk about some basic things with the class, because being that this is an online class, you might have to think a little bit differently than you would in person. We're going to talk about how do we handle a drawing class online, right? So the first thing is we use this platform called D2L. Some of you may have used it before, but I'm going to suspect many of you, this is going to be your first time using it. So for those of you that are Brainerd High School students, that normally come in person, you're very much used to Google Classroom. For this class, we will not use Google Classroom at all. We're going to operate it all through this D2L website. So you want to make sure you become familiar with it. So the first thing is when you come to the home page, and I have a view here that should pretty much look like a student view, just so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. But when you come to this opening page, you're basically going to have like an announcement page right here. And this is where I'm going to post. There will be one announcement every week. I usually will post it to go out like Sunday night, Monday morning, something like that. And it's really important you read the weekly announcements. What I will do for the weekly announcement is I will basically give you a list of what I want you to get done for that week. The way this class works is you guys have online open hours built into your schedule for those of you that come to Brainerd High School. I do understand I've got a few of you that are completely digital, like not going to the high school in person, and we'll talk about that as well. But for those of you at school, you have built in open hours into your day, and the expectation is you're using that time to work on your online classes. The way it's going to work in my class, there won't necessarily be like an assignment each day you need to complete. I pretty much lay out the week for you, and as long as you get done what you need to by the end of the week, you should be good to go. So that's kind of what you want to do. Now, the first thing is what I like to do is within my announcements, I will actually link the assignments that you're doing. So I will literally tell you, do this, do this, do this, and you click on the link and it will take you right to it. Now, there is another way to navigate. The main way you're going to navigate is either go through my announcement or you go to the content tab at the top. So if we go to the content tab at the top, this is going to guide you through the entire course. Now, I'm not sure how this will look for you, but I should have it so that the course is invisible except for what we're working on. If you guys can see all of this stuff, don't get overwhelmed by that. Those are assignments that we're doing later on. I have it set that they should be invisible for now, but if you see them, don't stress about them. Only focus on what I put on for that week and don't let yourself get overwhelmed by other assignments if you see those. But basically, the course just goes in order and you're basically just completing these modules, going through the assignments. Now, being that we're project based, we are going to be doing a lot of actual like hand drawn things, right? And we'll need to talk about how do we complete those things? How do we do it, right? So let's talk about that just in general, how we do things, right? So when I give you an assignment, one of the first things we're going to do, and just so you guys know, this first week, I'm not going to really give you any assignments other than this Google form, this About Me activity, okay? But there's not going to be any drawing assignments or anything this week. We're going to start on that week 2, just to make sure everybody's settled and like into the class and all of that. What we're going to be doing week 2 is I'm going to teach you a digital platform that simulates physical drawing, and we're going to be doing an assignment with that I want everybody to do. And then moving forward, all of the assignments are expected to be drawn physically by hand. But as a backup, because we're an online class, if you don't have access to the correct tools or a way to do it physically, I will accept digital work. I never want anyone's excuse to not do an assignment to say, I don't have the right paper, I don't have the right materials. The two things I'm going to tell you in this class is I will always take a digital drawing in place of an assignment as long as it fulfills the criteria, but only if you don't have the proper materials for whatever reason. But I always prefer hand drawn. The other thing is maybe you have physical materials, but you don't have the exact like paper size or the exact pencil type or whatever. You can substitute with whatever you have at home. If the project is supposed to be like a big 18 by 24 paper and you just have like 8 by 10 printer paper, do what you can with what you have, right? But try to fulfill the requirements of the assignments as best as you can. So those of you at school, you're always welcome to come to my room to either work or get materials if you need more. I am located in room D141 at the high school. Also, my email is joseph.wagner@isd181.org. That is on the main website. So the one thing overall for you guys to remember, whoops, I got to go back to the class here. Never be afraid to contact me. My contact info is right here. So there's my email right there. So just email me if you ever have questions. So a couple of things I want you guys to keep your eye out for me. If a link ever doesn't work, if you're not sure what to do, if you're ever confused, just contact me. That's all you have to do, and we'll help you. So just so you guys know, I'm a real person. I'm here. I'm at school, and I'm willing to help you guys out, right? So that's the main thing I want to talk about with that, right? Now, when you guys are turning in assignments and things, I might talk about that later because I feel like I'm going to be talking about too much right now if I start going into that. But let's just go back to kind of the basics here, right? So we're at the beginning, we're on D2L, right? And we got to figure out what do I want to do this week. This week, I'm keeping the workload extremely light. Like I said, there's only one assignment, and it's just a little Google form where you can tell me about yourself. So we all can have the experience of doing an assignment. And then next week, we're going to get into our first actual drawing assignment, right? So, for example, here it says to review the course syllabus. It also is going to tell you to watch the video, but that's the video I'm recording right now. So there actually isn't a link here as I'm recording it, but you guys hopefully found this video through that link, right? But it says to go through the course syllabus. So I might go through this with you really quick, and then you won't actually have to read this on your own. Just know, you'll notice when I click on it, sometimes what's going to happen on the website is you're going to get something like this where it says open the link to a new browser web tab. You always want to do that. So a lot of my links will go to this, and then you click open a new window, and then it actually takes you to what you want, right? So now this is the course syllabus. A couple of things I want you guys to keep in mind. A lot of my demo videos, a lot of my examples are from my normal, like in-person classes. But the demos all work the same. Like you should be able to follow along with those. But just know in a lot of my demos and stuff, I might show Google Classroom or I might mention Google Classroom. Just replace that with D2L and just understand how to find things here. But don't get confused in a video if I'm showing Google Classroom stuff, because those videos were recorded for that audience, but they have the same information that you guys need for what you're doing, right? So likewise, my syllabus here, this is the syllabus I use for my normal drawing class. So there are going to be things in here as an online class that don't really apply to you guys, like electronic devices in class and food and beverage, like those. I mean, you're not in the classroom, right? So that stuff doesn't apply. But we are doing the same course as my in-person one, right? So just as a brief overview, this is a pretty much an introduction to drawing course. So you can pretty much be at a beginner level. We do have intro to art as a prerequisite. So my hope is that most of you have taken that class, or if you're from a different school district, some type of introduction art class. If you haven't, that's okay. You should still be fine. This is still pretty much a beginner course. But if you're someone that's more advanced, I want you to like take those projects and make them to your level. And if you're really basic, I think you'll be able to just learn and follow along and do what you can. The big thing with this class, any art class that I teach, I want you guys to focus on improving yourself based on your skill level. Do not look at other people's art and expect that you're going to be working at their level, because that's not a fair comparison. So just always look at where are you, who are you as an artist. I know everyone's coming in at different levels, but as long as you are working to improve yourself, that is what I want. Okay. Um, I do have a couple of links in the syllabus. You can look through those on your own. Like there's a grading and assessment policy here. Um, I'm not going to sit and go through all that. I just want to go through the basics of the class, right? My expectations, so this is going to be a little bit different, right? Because you're not physically in the classroom. But my expectation is that you're logging in at least 3 separate times per week. And I know that like when you're actually working, you're not actually on D2L, right? We're a project-based course. But I want you to at least click in and check for announcements 3 times a week and make sure that you're doing all of the assignments. The main thing is I would say Monday morning, you should always be checking and make sure you know what the assignments are. And then on D2L, I can check when you've logged in. So I would like to see that everybody's at least logged in at least 3 different times throughout the week. Even though I mainly just post at the beginning of the week, you need to check in case I post something midweek, or there might be resources and things I want you to read on the website. Okay. Um, Other than that, like the electronic device and the phone stuff won't really matter, because the idea is you're working independently, on your own time. Um, the one thing I will say is, and I can maybe talk about some of the projects we're going to do, but I can do that right in D2L, right? So let me just go back to D2L here. So this online thing might be new for a lot of you. So once again, if you're completely at home, you just pick and choose your times to work on the class. And once again, your goal is to just make sure you get all of the required content done by the end of the week that I've posted. Unless we start like a bigger project that's maybe a multi-week project, then it's by whatever the due date is, right? And I will try to be clear and put those due dates out there. But for those of you at school, like I said, you're going to have an online open hour where you don't need to be in my room. Like you just work in any of the academic hallway areas, the commons areas, things like that. You are welcome to come in my room depending on the class period. If you want to work in my room during the day, you'll have to communicate with me to see what class I have when, and all of that. First and third hours, yes, first and third hours, I don't have any classes in here, so those are fine hours. You can come in and work if you want to. During lunch, sometimes can work depending on when your lunch hour is and things like that. Um, Possibly you could even come work during I do have an in-person drawing class and a painting class, fifth and sixth hour. Depending on how full those are, you possibly could work. I also have some tables just outside of my room where if you want to be close by, but you're still working outside, that's fine too. But for the online part, you're not actually expected to come to my classroom or be here for a specific class period, but you are definitely welcome to come and get help and get materials as you need. And what I'm going to say is when you turn in artwork, I would prefer you turn it in physically in person, in my classroom. But for those of you that are fully online or you need to turn something in online, you simply will go to an assignment and turn in a photo of your artwork, but you have to have a timestamp. And I'll talk about that when we get to the point of actually turning things in. But you have to have a way to prove that it's you like holding the artwork or that you made it with like your name and date on it. Because I know it's very easy to just download pictures of artwork online and try to turn it in. So academic honesty is going to be very important in this class. You need to make sure you are doing your own work and that you are not copying from other people, and that you are, when you're working at home or on your own time, that you're not having friends draw stuff for you. It needs to be your own work. And trust me, you guys, to me, it's not about does your artwork look better. It's about that you've done it and that you're learning the skills and using the concepts and you're improving yourself as an artist. And you're not going to get anything out of it by downloading a picture online or by having somebody draw it for you. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for this intro. But my hope is now you can navigate the website a little bit. Once again, don't be overwhelmed by everything you see. Once again, the main thing is just this content will kind of guide you through. But even if you just go to the course home every time and you just look at each week what you're doing, that's all you have to do. And then click on the links and I will guide you through what I want you to do. And remember, at any time, if you're confused on an assignment, how to turn it in, what to do, please contact me, email me. If you're here at school, you can come to my room and talk to me. You can sign up for my win and come and work in person, right? So let me know if you guys have any questions, but just spend this first week with these couple of small activities. Just navigate a little bit, get comfortable with it. And week 2, we're going to kind of get into our first drawing. So make sure you're checking the announcements, and we'll see you guys all next week.